All right, it's 6, is the camera on?
Camera on.
Okay. It's 6:30 on December 14th, and the River Plantation Municipal Utility District meeting is now in session. And the first thing we're going to do is go over the last minutes and approve the minutes from the November meeting. Does anybody have any comments about the meeting from November?
The only comments I have was on the operator's report. It says the board recognizes Keith Errant. He wasn't at that last meeting, it was Mike Williams. So that was just a personal.
Yeah, we need to change that to reflect that Mike Williams was here instead of Keith.
That is exactly right. I appreciate that.
Okay?
And everything else was.
Good catch, Betty.
I move we approve the minutes as amended.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the minutes are approved. All right, comments from the public. We've got a few people that have taken the time to show up with us tonight. We appreciate it. Mark Robin, do you have anything to say?
Yes, sir.
Beverly Milton.
Oh, I have a
Hi.
lot to say.
Okay.
Not really a lot, but I just don't understand this whole conglomeration of the way you guys treated us last month. Along with, Tom said today the bridge was fixed. No, the bridge is not fixed. When you use little clumps of concrete and PVC pipe with bricks on it to hold up a guardrail, that is not a fix. And I know we've gotta all come together as far as trying to figure out what we're going to do for both subdivisions here. We don't want an eminent domain coming in and saying, okay, we're taking your property. And they can do that. Am I wrong?
That's up to the county though.
And they can come in and do it. The government has the right to come in with an eminent domain. Am I correct, Mr. Lawyer?
You want me to, can I address that? I do the eminent domain, and it's slightly more complicated because we are also a governmental entity. So we arguably have sovereign immunity against that, and there's an analysis the courts look at when it's one government against another. So the county does have eminent domain, but it's not quite that simple here.
Well, let me clarify. Are you talking about your property or are you talking about the park property?
I'm talking about Mosswood itself trying to get out in case of emergencies, like this road that we need to build. They're not gonna fix that bridge.
Okay,
That bridge costs
do you
too
understand
much.
that we can't do anything with the bridge? That's only county?
I
It's county.
understand that.
That does it.
I understand that. I've talked with Charlie, I've talked with Kent, I've talked with a lot of them over there. I understand that. They kinda screwed it up when they just did this little mess up right now. But in order for us to get out, we've got to find a way to get out. Somebody had proposed going through a person's property. Well, that person on that corner there backs right up to RPMUD's blue tank on the top of the hill. The rest of the people down the road there on Mosswood facing north all back up to River Plantation. Any way we look at it, we've got to scoot through you guys to get out. Not by choice of myself, trust me, okay? But there's got to be a way where we can get out of there in case of what happened like in 19 when the bridge flooded. Or when y'all's bridge was broken over here and you were getting it fixed and you were cutting through. I know it was temporary, but my point being is we've got to do something to get us out of there.
I agree with you 100%, but
I think we all agree
it's the
with you.
county that has to do it.
Yes.
You know, we don't do any of that work ourselves, but I don't know why, you know, you guys haven't been 1,000 members strong and going to them and saying, you need to fix our road. You need to have a road out of there. It's dangerous with it. I would hate to be there without a road. You know, you guys need to get on Charlie Riley and get him to fix that road.
Yeah, well, I didn't vote for him.
I had the thing, last time I said, I think we should all have t-shirts made, say, Charlie Riley fixed the damn bridge, because he should fix the bridge.
But that bridge is gonna cost more than a road.
But it's the proper way to fix it.
I mean, that's a solution, and that's the way it should have been done all along.
Correct, but you
Could have
don't
been
just go in
maintained.
there, you don't just go in there like they did with the cement truck, sit it on the bridge while they're plopping stuff down. Now, how much common sense is that? You're gonna put a concrete truck on a bridge that we know ain't no good.
I agree.
Well,
Again,
that's
that was
not
the
our
county.
problem, it's as Charlie, I don't care what you bring in, this is how it's gonna be, we don't want the road here. Let him figure it out, I could care less how he do or what he brings in.
Well, then I can care less about how you get out of a place too then.
You're discussing about how is he gonna bring what in to do that work. All you want is the work to be done correctly. How and what truck he brings in, let's not make that the issue, but it's, your issue is get us to get out of that subdivision,
You
period.
need a road. You need a-
Yes, that's
think
it.
you
Any
misinterpreted
road
what
you
she
do,
said.
you gotta go over the creek.
It's not our problem,
Yeah.
not gonna be, let him figure that out.
So our subdivision is not your problem?
No,
that's not what
I'm saying, let him worry about that. He has to make sure you have in and out, you pay taxes, you are part of the county. That's all you wanna hear
Correct.
from him.
Yeah.
That's all, that's what
Correct.
I'm saying.
But yet y'all sat here last month just downgrading us and let's charge them a toll and let's do this and let's do that.
I don't
That was
think we-
totally,
I
excuse
don't
me?
recall anybody
Oh,
saying
yeah.
anything
You
about a toll.
rerun your tapes.
Yeah,
It's all on
and
there.
nobody on the board downgraded anybody from.
Yeah.
I'm sure of that.
It was the district's engineer who actually brought it to the county's attention. Obviously, it's a matter of district concern, but it is a county responsibility, and it is not a problem that we have the ability to solve for them. And so we just have to wait to see how the county chooses to proceed, because we cannot build, the district does not have road powers. We cannot build county roads.
Understandable, but why was it okay for y'all to cut across our bridge to go across your greenway when you were getting your covered bridge fixed?
For the same reason that it was okay to cut across the
To
Charles.
use a public
I don't
road.
recall that ever happening.
No,
You don't recall it happening?
No, I don't. I really don't remember when the bridge was down.
You also, do you not recall 2019 when it all flooded?
Mm-hmm.
And we had to go
When
that
the
way,
flood
the
was
We
constables
went
were
the
going
sitting
back
there,
road, we used
the
the back
constables
road.
were sitting there.
But we used
But
the
we use
back
the
road.
back way.
Yeah, we use
We
the
have
back.
two ways in and out.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm also the one that prevented the RVs from coming through your back way.
No, but what I'm saying is we had access to get in and
We
out.
don't have anything against Mosswood, matter of
Yeah.
fact, we service you with water and
Yeah.
sewer, and we
You're
do
part
the
of our,
drain-
you're part of our
the
service
drainage
area.
ditch on the, what would that be, the east side?
The blue one?
Yeah, not the one where Stewart Creek is,
Oh,
we
the
have
Mosswood
nothing to do
ditch.
with it.
Oh, that's a whole nother situation.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know, but that's not ours either, but we have a ditch, and we wanna fix all that, we wanna keep your sewer running, we wanna keep your water going. Those are ours, and you're just as important to us as anybody in RP.
Well, I
But
feel
we
like
have
a little
nothing to
red
do with roads.
stepchild.
Ma'am?
I said, I feel like little red stepchild up there along with a few of the rest of us. And
Well, I'm sorry you do,
unfortunately,
but we-
unfortunately, there's only a handful of us that really care about what's going on.
Yeah.
Because it is a subdivision that does
Yeah.
not have an HOA. And there's a lot of people that are just happy in their little corners and
Yeah.
don't wanna be left alone.
Yeah.
My house is too close to the river. Her
Yeah.
house is too close to the river.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm about to fall in.
We're going. The road itself is literally caving in underneath there on Magnolia.
Well,
And I know that's got nothing to do with what we're talking about.
see how you can come up with a letter that's gonna put fear into each of those people renting and let them know that they must proceed with their homeowner. Just have a way that you write it down, that when they receive it, they will call the homeowner and say, this is gonna be a problem, I'm leasing from you, how the heck am I gonna get out? And this is happening, and they are alerting us, and I'm letting you know, please call this lady, Beverly, right?
Yes.
Please call Beverly, here's her phone number. Just do it. I
I've been
mean,
trying to do that
I've
for about
done
3
that.
years.
no,
mean-
but you have to have block captains that's gonna walk like in politics. You're gonna go all this block, you're gonna come back, I'm gonna cover here, come back and this. You're gonna have to get 5 volunteers that are seriously gonna cover one area, cross over and cover it again.
Wanna
This
help
is
me?
do or die, huh?
Wanna help me?
Okay, but get the serious letter, cause I
No,
don't knock on doors
I'm
unless you have
serious,
a
as far as
plan.
us, what do we do up there?
Okay, you find someone that knows English very good and has the devil in them, find a good serious Democrat and tell them, let's fire up this letter.
Let's keep moving here.
Yep.
But
We need to move on.
But the things that you're addressing should be addressed with the county commissioners.
Yeah.
That's where your request or your what I'm hearing you say you have a problem with is with the county. They're the ones that have
Yes.
to fix this. We don't have any say on that at all, other than we are citizens. We might write a letter to the commissioner or write an email to the commissioner or call the commissioner, just like any other citizens can. And if enough people do that, something will get done.
Yes.
But a lot of people, including Betty, we've talked, on next door, I fought left and right for that RV park not to even be there.
Yeah, I saw that,
I
yeah.
got shot down
Yeah.
on that one.
The thing I thought about when they were wanting to build the road across Charleston is the next flood is gonna wash that road away. The county's not known for building a really beautiful road through there, so they need to fix your road, fix your bridge, and get you a way out of there.
Correct.
Other than halfway putting it down, put in a road where it's gonna flood again.
And get the Corps of Engineers to be able to know how to bring in the dirt, bring in a lot of rocks, big boulder rocks, put it so that the river won't be washing your.
Okay,
The Corps of Engineer, the River Society, none of them want anything to do with that river. Nobody's taking responsibility.
Charlie knows how to yank their chain.
okay. Again, it's up to the county, much more than our responsibility at all. So, and if you were offended by anything that we discussed last month, I certainly don't recall anybody saying anything about
I
a
can
toll
bring the
road.
video up right now and show you, and you can listen to all you people sitting there laughing and telling us you want us to pay a toll, and maybe we should do this. And how about a flyover that goes to 45?
It wasn't nice.
It was not nice,
Okay,
not nice at all.
When you bring it up, let them finish with their meeting, and then we'll show it to them. But in the meantime, find that part of the video.
okay.
No problem.
It's 34 minutes into your conversation
Yeah,
last month.
espérate, ahora.
Okay. The next name on the list is Marcy. You have anything?
No.
Nothing, okay. And then we've got Tim and Denise Horner.
No.
No? Okay. All right, that takes care of the public comments. Now we're gonna do the financial and bookkeeping reports. I'm sorry, did you have anything, Georgianne, that you wanted to add?
No,
Okay.
thanks.
Bernadette, did you have anything you wanted to add?
I added it, I'm finished. I just
Okay.
did all my talking.
All right.
Thank you.
Alright,
Go right ahead, Mark.
so good evening again, my name is Mark Miller, I'm for Carol today. I'm not sure how fast you usually go through this, so I'm just gonna go, stop me if you have any questions. You flip over to page 2, this is your account balances for all of your funds. In your operating fund, you have about $894,000, in your capital projects fund about $5,770,000. Your debt service fund about $348,000 for a total of a little over $7 million. Pages 3 and 4 is your cash flow report for your operating account. The main thing looking there is you had about $171,000 in disbursements since your last meeting, leaving you a total of about $55,000 in your checking account. Page 4 is your cash flow report for your tax account. You had about $61,000 in tax receipts, leaving you with about $72,000 in that account. Page 5 is your cash flow report for your online account, basically your water and sewer revenue. You had about $67,000 in revenues, leaving you about $70,000 in that account. Pages 6 and 7 is your actual versus budget comparison for your operating account. I will leave that to your review and answer any questions you may have over that. Page 8 is just an accounts receivable from your billings for East Plantation. It's just showing there's about $3,400 outstanding from them at this point.
Do you know why that, they skipped, that was bills after that have been paid. Do you have to notify?
It looks like that was issued in November, so it just may be a timing issue. I don't know when their meetings meet, and they usually have to wait till their meetings to sign that check, so.
Yeah, because see, the next one, the $9,000 one was, bill that was issued after the 3,400. I was just wondering. It skipped?
Sometimes you receive invoices later, so you may, this month, you may receive an invoice from, in August, and it just gets paid at this point. We will follow back up with East Plantation, make sure it hadn't been overlooked, but I'll check into that.
I just thought it was weird that it was skipped.
It's sometimes the invoices come later, to the point we get them. It happens.
Mark, can I ask, you show a $3,400 receivable, does that mean that the recent invoice for the drainage repairs was paid?
It looks like it based on this. How much was it? Was that $9,000 one?
No, it was 56,000.
Oh,
It's
no,
not even on here.
it's not even on here.
Well, this is just the amounts that East Plantation owes.
They owe 56,000.
So they owe 56.
They do.
Okay. Unfortunately, I'll have to ask Carol on that. I will have to get back with you on that one.
Sure.
Page 9 is your cash flow report for your capital projects fund. You had about $96,000 in expenses. And we're going to leave about $315 in that checking account. Page 10 is the summary of your capital projects funds, just showing where all your funds are spread out. And pages 11 and 12 is just more backup to that. Page 13 is your balance sheet for your operating account for your review. Page 14 is your upcoming debt service payments for the district. The next debt service payment is coming up in March for about $255,000, and we'll take care of that at that time. And the final page is some information on the upcoming AWBD conference. I just show just one of you is attending as of right now. Let me know if that changes. Do I need to roll into the tax report, or do you? No. So let me know if you have any questions.
That big bill with East Plantation is kind of like the elephant in the room, because they've balked and what have you with it, so,
Let me write that down.
yeah, make
Like,
sure.
how long ago was that from?
I'll give it Carol.
You give it Carol?
I got it on my notes to call Carol and
Okay.
okay. Send over and make sure that it's shown on the report as to be paid.
Okay.
Move we accept the bookkeeper's report.
I second it.
All in favor? Okay. The review of investments, that was part of that also.
Yeah.
We've got payment of district bills. We need to make a motion on that.
Move we approve the bills for payment. We
Second.
really signed them.
Yeah, I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, the operator's report, Keith?
All right, very good. Good evening. Should have a copy of the November report. In front of you, show 975 connections, 3 of those being vacant. Received 71,876.69 in revenue. Beneath that's the summary of your gallons billed by user for the period ending November 18th. Total gallons produced right at 8.2 million. Billed out again right at 8.2 million, accounting for 100% of the water. There were 11 leaks in the district. We took the 6 electrical samples. Those results were good. Beneath that is your wastewater treatment plant operations for the month of November. Pretty good shape there. Everything's in compliance. Currently at 50% of the permitted capacity. Beneath that's the note there, right at 5.2 million gallons of reuse left the plant. And then beneath that's just the notes of various users that use between 30 and 50,000 gallons, in excess of 50, and in excess of 100. Beneath that, your age receivables, pretty good shape there. And then there at the bottom is the graph showing your accountability each month for 2022. Do not have a copy of the DMR for you this month. Same, because you guys bumped up your meeting due to the holidays. The DMR is not prepared and has not been submitted to the TCEQ just yet. It's due on the 20th. So we should have all the lab data back here shortly. We'll get it fired off and submitted. Once I have it, I can certainly shoot you all a copy, but this is more or less the data that will be shown there. It's in compliance, no issue. Outside of that, I don't have a whole lot else to report to you. So if there's any questions on that, yeah.
I got a couple questions.
Sure.
The usage of November is substantially higher than October. And is there an explanation for that other than we didn't have it seemed like it was kind of cool in November, so I'm not sure if it was based on water or what, but based on that graph you got there?
Yeah, so the graph at the bottom is showing your accountability percentage, so not actual gallons used. In actual gallons, last month you billed out 11 million gallons, just over 11 million gallons. This month you billed out 8. So as far as actual consumption, you've reduced
It was down.
from the prior month. This graph here at the bottom just shows you the accountability. All that accountability is, we're looking at what percentage of water produced have we captured when we sum the consumption across all of your district meters.
Okay.
So you're getting more accurate at measuring.
Yes, sir.
Leaks repaired in the district was 11.
Yes,
Any of those Tachus?
I do believe that there was a couple that were back charged. I don't think all were necessarily Tachus. I think Consolidated may have been party to some of those, but I actually spoke to Paul and I exchanged some correspondence today, and I visited with our folks in our billing office. And so I should have kind of a clean, consolidated accounting of VAT charges. And I'll shoot that off to both you all, Paul and Davis.
Okay. All right. And then finally, the issue that you and I sent you an email earlier this month about the problems with the city of Houston. And I'm just want to make sure that we're not going to be victimized by a similar fate should some of our equipment fail. How are we doing on equipment?
Sure. I mean, you know, the result of the city, I mean, it was in large part the product of power loss. They, you know, the lost system pressure. There's a flow chart with the city, I mean, with the state, more or less, that says when your system pressure falls below a certain point, that you're required to issue a boil water notice. Everybody in River Plantation should be familiar with the boil water notice. After all the TACUS and everything else, we've had our fair share. I'm not ever going to guarantee you that you know, obviously things happen. You know, we've got generators, we've got an interconnect, and so you know the intent here is to try to harden y'all's system. I know that's a lot of what you know Taylor and I have been working on, and Taylor's been at it for a lot longer than me. But looking at you know the overall condition of the system, both water plant, wastewater plants, collection, distribution, so on and so forth, and in an effort to try to harden your system so that one, to prevent catastrophic failure, but then also you know equipment fails. You know, doesn't matter how new it is. You know, the opportunity for failure exists. And so at the end of the day, you want to have all the various contingencies and redundancies so that hopefully if there is a failure, we can quickly recover and hopefully services aren't interrupted and you know, we don't have to go down the road that the city did here recently. So
The mayor of Houston mentioned that the redundancy is what failed for them. They had 2 transformers and one of them was a backup and it also failed. Do we have redundant systems set up for us?
I would be careful as to what the city of Houston said versus what might have happened or might not have happened.
Okay.
The reality is they are operating a lot bigger plants, and so it takes a bigger, and typically the city of Houston doesn't have generators the size to actually operate their plants in totality. So in y'all's situation, y'all's generators do power the pumps and power the water well to continue to service the district at an appropriate PSI. On top of that, if you were to have a issue at water plant 2, water plant 3 can maintain the system and vice versa. As well as Keith's guys are very quick in reacting to open the interconnect. So while the city of Houston may say they have redundancies in place and stuff like that, they're working on a large scale that doesn't kind of necessitate the practicality of those measures, whereas you're working with somebody you can call immediately to get on it, and his guys are on site, ready to handle it. So
Okay.
it's kind of a big government versus small government kind of mentality. Small government is direct action, big government, there's some bureaucratic steps that have to go through.
Okay.
So you guys are very well protected in that measure.
All right, very good.
Is there an update on the leak in the effluent line on the golf course?
Yes, sir. I spoke to Mario earlier today, and it has been repaired.
Did you repair it or did they?
We did.
And where was it?
Trying to think what hole it is.
Yeah, I don't know the
Number 2, I believe.
I think it's number 2, yeah, the number 2 right there where that kind of, it almost looked like its own lake right there.
It has a leak.
Yeah, there's a lake right next to where the hole was, yeah.
And do they now have the ability to turn the water on and off?
The golf course?
Yes.
So there's been some conversation, at least internally, as to access, a lot of that, right now, is all controlled within the plan. We would prefer that no one else is in the facility, in order to start or stop flow. But we've got communication with the golf course if they ever don't need water, or, whatever, they, if they contact us, we're happy to try to do that, but not that I think anyone's gonna hit the sewer plant, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we know who's there and who's in it and who's out and what's going on, so we would prefer that if they need access, that it's handled through us.
Great. Anybody else?
Tim,
Yes.
on Fairway Estates, I heard that we had a fire hydrant and they inspected it and it was down and they replaced it. So I'm wondering, y'all going through the whole neighborhood and urgency, or we don't know what the last previous crew was doing with them?
Let me tell you, kind of typically our protocol is on an annual basis, we'll do a hydrant survey, and so yes, that's a system-wide inspection. So we'll go to every hydrant, we'll check the operating valve, we'll flush it, we'll make sure that the operating nut on the hydrant itself actually operates, and we'll touch every hydrant once a year. So that is in process. Obviously, we've had lots going on here in the last, at least recent months with some other things. But certainly our intent is to ensure that we do put our eyes on and inspect each hydrant. And if there are issues, if you ever see one that's bagged or something like that, that's an indication that we verified that there's a faulty valve or some sort of issue with the hydrant. It's on the list, we'll come out and get it addressed, down the road we go. But if y'all ever come across something, feel free to reach out to me and we'll look into it. Yes, ma'am.
Can I just ask, I brought that up too about Mosswood, the last time that those fire hydrants were checked. I've been there 5 years, I've never seen them checked.
Okay, yeah, every hydrant will, whether it's in the Mosswood side or RP, whatever, if it's in the district, if it's tied to our water line, we're gonna inspect it.
Okay?
Does the fire department just inspect them as well?
They'll, at times, we'll have the fire department come out and they'll, do a training, we might see them out here flushing a hydrant or tying on or whatever else, but, we don't put too many eggs in that basket. We're gonna put our hands on them, we're gonna inspect them.
Yeah, I was just curious, I thought I'd seen some people, I didn't think they were our people.
Okay. Anything else, Keith?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion, we accept the operator's report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We're going to reverse number 5 and 6 on the agenda. We're going to go ahead and do the engineer's report.
All right.
Taylor?
Nothing new on the permits, on the design projects, nothing new on the E-Stitch. And I've got tracked here, Holly Springs, the wastewater treatment facility. those projects to say that we need to sit down with EPUD. I think Davis and his group have been trying to reach out to figure out some sort of meeting. I think it's been a little difficult. But once that gets scheduled, we've been working in the background to make sure that we have it all listed out as far as the projects we're looking at and the budgets and whatnot. As for the sanitary sewer phase 1 rehab, you guys awarded that contract. We're just waiting for the contractor to send back the contracts to get you guys to sign them. So you'll see those in January to be signed. Water plant number 3 upgrades, that's for that building. Me and Keith met on site. We talked about just doing some building repairs to it. Keith has some contractors, so he's gonna get a proposal to put in front of you guys to redo all the siding, you know, the roofing, insulation, to make sure that it's up to code, protecting that equipment. All the electrical equipment that's in the building is fairly newer, and so there's no reason to rush out and replace something that's certainly not broken. We just wanna make sure we're protecting it appropriately. As for construction projects, we're still going through videos of the storm sewer. We're pretty much done with the sanitary sewer ones. You'll see pay applications next month for those projects. The clean and televised phase 2, that construction is still underway. We do have pay application number 1 in the amount of $26,203.54 that I've attached that we recommend for payment. And then on the Stone Mountain storm sewer sinkhole, that work has been complete. I went by and verified, and I think they did a much better job the second time around.
Looks great.
I do apologize that it took 2 times, but we got it worked out. Last on my list is certain questions and comments from the prior meeting. So the Mosswood Bridge, as was reported, they did fill in that sinkhole with a bunch of concrete. That was at the direction of the county commissioner. They didn't respond to any of my emails regarding kind of what we had talked about at the meeting, our concerns and stuff like that. So it sounds like there were some external comments to you guys and the CIA, I'm sure, but we didn't hear anything back from them. Next item on there is an hourly rate increase. I've attached a new rate schedule. So per our contract, we're allowed to ask for a rate increase in January, and actually it can go automatically in effect. We don't like to do that. And I know you guys haven't been with us a long time, but we haven't raised our rates since 2015. It's just getting more expensive to hire new engineers as a whole. That's gone up 26%. Obviously, everybody's hearing about inflation, and you hate to be the one just continue to tag on that line, but TPIs are kind of raging out of control and whatnot. So if you look at it, I'm listed as an engineer 5, and so you'll see that I go from 155 to 180. I looked at y'all's hours that I spent on your district last year, which was approximately 120, 130 hours. And so it was roughly about a $3,000 increase as a whole if I were to spend the same amount of hours. Typically, I like to tell people that on an established district where things are going well, I typically have about 100 hours a year just spending directly on district items that are more hourly rated. Any projects that are under $150,000 are billed under hourly for the entire company. Anything over $150,000 is billed off of a curve fee. That's part of y'all's contract. So all of the projects that we're doing through the bond app and things like that are well over $150,000. So you won't see any increase as far as that. Those are all based on the construction price and a fee curve basis. Last item is a wastewater reuse permit. Davis actually asked me to look into that. I've attached the purchase sheets from y'all's wastewater permit. Per y'all's actual wastewater permit, it does allocate the use of irrigating the 135-acre golf course. Obviously now it's closer to 80 acres, but that it should follow kind of the limitations, and there's a bunch of layout of information that has to be followed and so on and so forth. I've got a call into the TCQ asking specifically if, because our permit's set up that way, if we need a specific type 2 permit or if this qualifies as the type 2 permit. I know as of right now, I believe the golf course doesn't hold a type 2 permit, so that was kind of the premise for looking into all that.
Taylor, I appreciate you looking into that. I think it would also be helpful to know if we can use that water to irrigate the area that is described in the attachment, you know, the former golf course area, or just the portion that continues to be used as a golf course.
I think the concern continues to fall on if it's known that it is a public park area in which it doesn't have any sort of restriction. So the thing I've always gotten back from the TCQ is a golf course is a private piece of property that would technically be qualified as trespassing if somebody were on property while the sprinklers were going off. And that's kind of where that dividing line comes between irrigating a park that people may not be able to be on, but it's still public property owned by the district versus private property. Does that make sense, Davis, or am I completely off basis?
It makes perfect sense, just, you know, it would be great to have that conversation,
Yeah.
because, you know, if there was some chance that we could, you know, use some of that water, I think that that would be a great result. So without having to incur significant, you know,
Yeah.
expenses associated with upgrades at the plant.
Yeah, I can certainly, whenever they give me a call back, I certainly will put that into the information, is to tell them what's going on and see if that still falls under that purview.
That'd be great. I appreciate that.
Let me throw another option out there, just to think about. I don't know if there's any good to it or not, but we're talking about trying to irrigate the park, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the issues that we haven't thought about, because I think by the time we get all the pumps and whatever we gotta do, we're gonna be spending a considerable amount of money to bring the affluent water in. We also have a well sitting over there that's not being used that would be adequate to provide a pump, a well, a storage tank, and irrigate the whole system, but it wouldn't be affluent. It would be the well number one. All we'd have to do is put a pump on it.
Mhm.
I don't, you know, it's just something to think about. Is it a good idea, bad idea? I don't know. But it's sitting there, and it might be cheaper than trying to work a way around it with the other system.
Yeah, so you're still paying groundwater pondage fees at that
Yeah,
point.
but it's gonna be just as inexpensive. I mean, it will be, what do you say, 8 cents?
No, the groundwater pondage fees.
We don't have a GRP fee.
Oh.
for taking.
Oh,
So, we have our own GRP, and the water reuse program is what supports that GRP. So,
okay.
it's probably worth some additional conversation there, and also about the permit and just kind of future planning stuff, just to make sure
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
all on the same page.
Just an idea.
No, it's a great idea. I'm so used to dealing with GRP stuff, I didn't even think about that you guys didn't have that undue burden.
And Mark,
Yes, Mark.
It's a GRP, to be clear, but it is a district GRP
Right.
as opposed to a regional water
Right.
authority GRP that has a traditional pumpage fee.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Mark.
I think some things to maybe look at is, that was kind of brought up, I think, earlier, not so much in the meeting here, is I think the way it is one is you need a pump strong enough to pump all the water through the irrigation. Two is, my understanding is all the pumps are in Chrysler's hands, and he wasn't very happy with us, and he wasn't gonna give us.
right.
We can take the water was ours, basically, but the pumps would be his, and he wasn't gonna give it to us.
So we would have to put our own pumps in. That's why I'm saying it might be cheaper just to put a pump in our own well.
The other thing is, there's a lot of the irrigation, the sprinkler system boxes and stuff that are falling apart and
Yeah, that's gotta be fixed no matter what we do.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a thing to determine whether we should try to get Chrysler to give us, pay for the pumping or something, and, because the system's already there. I don't know what kind of shape it is, but they irrigated Charleston for, what, 40 years?
Yeah.
35?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some upgrades if we ever get to doing it, but that's gonna, it doesn't matter what kind of water we use. You know, we're
Yeah.
still gonna have to do some upgrades in there.
So, Taylor, on the east ditch FEMA work, when can we expect to see something on that? It seems like this is the same thing 2 months in a row.
Well, so, we have to, we've just been kicking the can down the road per se, meaning that we're still trying, because at the end of the day, if we go get FEMA money and then you guys don't have any sort of agreement work with East Foundation Mud, our original estimate of doing the east ditch work for all the concrete was, upwards of $1 million to $1.5 million. So, you guys don't have that just sitting around to cover all the bases. If FEMA comes back and covers 50%, so it's 500 and 500, you would still be putting yourself out of pocket, and it would be you know, then you, instead of 56,000, you'd be waiting for each plantation to give 250,000. My understanding was always we were kind of pushing that down the road until we could get something established with East Plantation. If I've misunderstood, I apologize.
Have we had any more communication with East Plantation?
We've been in almost continuous communication with East Plantation, just trying to get a meeting set up. And we have something scheduled for Monday. And Taylor, I have not contacted you because they have asked that our operator and engineer not attend. And truthfully, I've just been, I owe you a phone call on that. So,
yeah, no worries.
I'm sorry I haven't had a chance to call you to let you know. I was surprised to hear that, but that is my understanding of the request through their attorney. So
okay. All right. Well, let's talk tomorrow, and we can talk about all this. I can give you a whole binder full of information as needed.
That'd be great. I'm definitely interested in hearing what you have.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, anything else, Taylor?
That's it.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the engineer's report?
I make a motion that we accept the engineer's report.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then a motion to pay that one-pay application. Number one, 26,203 to the for the televised phase 2.
Okay, we need a motion for that.
Who were you gonna say something?
No, I was looking for that page,
I
yes.
move we go ahead and pay for the.
I second that.
What was it, the money?
26,000.
Dave was just really good at paper, and
Yeah, there you go.
he'll get all of it correct.
All right, do we get a second?
I second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, that covers the engineer's report. The next item on the agenda we were going to cover was the rate order.
Okay, we had some discussion about amending the rate order to address pool inspections, and specifically the connection of pools to drainage. I have prepared a revised rate order and rate schedule that provide for the submission of plans to the district's engineer for review and the inspection of the construction by the operator. I will tell you that you will find the revised, the relevant page of the revised, or the most relevant page of the revised rate schedule on page 28 of your packet. It is section 4.11, the swimming pool inspection fee of $600. $500 of that is our best estimate on the cost to have Taylor review the plans and communicate with the homeowner. And then Keith charges the district a fixed fee of $100 for those inspections. And so that's how we came up with the fee of $600. I will say you will find the new language addressing the kind of procedure for notifying the district and submitting plans to the district's engineer on page 47 of the packet. It is also section 411, and as I said, it is, you notify the district, you submit the fee and the plans to the district's engineer for review. The plans are reviewed. Once they are approved, then you go out and do the construction, and the operator goes out to inspect the construction and make sure that that the portion that we were reviewing, that connection, was done properly. Any questions or comments on the changes to the rate order?
No.
Those connection inspections, that's only if it's not a filtered pool, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, typically we're gonna want to inspect.
Yeah. anytime they're gonna connect to the sanitary sewer, they're gonna require inspection.
My understanding is they don't connect to the sanitary sewer unless it's other than a filtered system, a canister filter system, not a DE filter.
Yes, except for if they have an overflow, we do require them to connect to the sanitary sewer based off of y'all's MS4 permit. So any sort of like overflow drain and stuff like that, like a lot of times will be allowed, but that should go to the sanitary sewer as well.
Okay. Do we need to make a motion to accept the rate order?
Yes, sir, you do.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion, we accept the rate order as written.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, the next item on the agenda is damage to district facility, enforcement action as necessary.
Paul and I have both been involved in this, and Paul, you're welcome to jump in. I'll just say that Paul and Keith and I have all been in touch with Consolidated, who has been responsive. We have provided them with an estimate to complete the sidewalk repairs. I wasn't aware of any water line damage, but obviously Paul and Keith just spoke today on that. So I've been in touch with the law firm that is representing them over about the last week, and as soon as we have that estimate, we'll submit it as well. They were very responsive. Our letter certainly got their attention, and we essentially told them that we would agree to push the hearing until the January meeting, so long as they addressed all of our issues. So we obviously do need to be compensated for the damage. And Paul, is there anything, or Keith, anything y'all want to add?
I'll just summarize and say, for the board, we prepared your first ever formal violation notice, and we used things we've used in other districts, and as David said, it had the intended effect. They responded to us right away, which doesn't always happen, so I'm really happy about this. They brought in a lawyer, they brought in some high-up lady and a whole bunch of people, and they're promising, as David said, they say they want to pay the damage, and they were waiting on the information and the invoices, which have been rolling in. We sent them one yesterday. We're getting more information today, so we agreed, as David said, that rather than drag them down and convene a hearing and prosecute them, which seems unnecessary at this point, that we would defer it to January. We assume the board would be okay with that, provided that they need to pay you by January or we will hold the hearing. So that's, I think, the update, but I'm pleased with the progress so far on that. And on TAC, it's just, I'll just jump in here while I'm talking, and just to say that we're still pulling together the full numbers so we can send our official, when you sue someone, we have to send it, have to is kind of a strong word, but the proper thing to do, certain claims you have to, but the proper thing to do is to send the official, here's what we believe is the total you owe us, and we don't know that yet, and Keith is working on that. He's got a million things to do, and so he's getting this information. So we can send out that notice. We'll give them a month. You have plenty of time on this, so there's nothing to worry about there, and I'm sure they're not going to pay it. I've been contacting them and following up. They're not responding to me anymore. So I expect that we are going to have to take them to court, but we will send a letter, probably send them a violation notice, and if that doesn't work, then we'll ask you for authority to sue them, which hopefully we won't have to do, but that may be where it's headed.
Are you leaving it open for future fines of damage that, like sewer systems, that's not going to reveal itself, could be for years?
Unseen damages?
I only caught part of that. Would you mind repeating that? I'm sorry.
Are you leaving the request or the action open so that if there are unseen damages like to sewer that won't reveal itself for years, that we still have the ability to go after funds to fix those things that could have been caused now, even though we don't see it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's two things. We have 2 years to sue. for a tort claim. And so this would be a tort claim, which means trespass or negligence or nuisance. If we wait longer than 2 years, you lose the legal ability to pursue those. So we will leave the door open till we finalize some resolution with them, but we will have to make a decision at some point, I would say in the next year and a half, about what do we think the impact is, because we can't be indefinite forever.
Okay,
Question, observation.
yes, sir.
I have a picture of Optimum on the golf course path there between Braxton and Bragg. They're driving their bucket truck down the golf course.
Still?
The car, yeah, on the cement, that was 2 days ago. Got pictures of them.
Okay, good.
And who was that?
Optimum, that's the
Southern Wind.
cable,
Southern.
cable.
Yeah. And they didn't need to use that bucket
Consolidated
truck.
contract or someone else?
No, that's different.
Yeah, I've not heard of it. Can you send that to somebody,
Send
me
it to
or
Robert.
somebody, and they have our email? We obviously need to get hold of them right away.
Can you send it to one of us?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I just need to, does that include us up in Mosswood with the damage that they have done, since RPMUD is also responsible for us too?
Certainly, we need to know when and where the
Okay.
damages have occurred in your area, but certainly
Okay.
you're included in,
But it's not residential damage, it's damage to our facilities.
right.
So if it's residential damage, like to your yard and that, you have to take that up with them. We only cover the damage that, to our facilities, the sewer, the water,
They break a
things like
main.
that, break a main.
Well, that's, believe me, that happened a couple times up
Well, if we
by
came
us
out to
with the
repair it,
electric.
then they've got,
Yeah.
then we've got that, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. What else, Davis? Is it all? Oh, Bernadette, go ahead.
The swimming pool that was acquired by your municipal, across from the country club, y'all own it, right?
Mhm.
I would like to see that pool get cleaned up and made available, that the community and Mosswood would be able to have the usage of that facility, like we in RP, we have our pool. But since the MUD has purchased that, and they are part of the MUD, that they be able to have access to use the pool. And then the second thing too, that I would like to request, how you call that water thing that's right by the office? You know, where it used to have a pump that used to irrigate?
The pond.
The
The
pond?
pond, thank you for the proper word. I would like to see that stagnated cesspool of mosquito collection be made in operation, and that the motor be done where it can start how you say, irrigate? Aerating
Right,
that
right now,
area.
we have no way to get water to it. Chrysler controls the water flow.
For that pond.
We have no way
Rainfall's
to
the
get
only
it.
way to get water in it right now.
Okay, but when you all get it, or whatever you all are talking about the repair, then that will be a project to be included.
Actually, RPCIA controls some of it, don't
No.
they? No, just the country club?
They
Just-
put the
They put the motor
irrigation
in.
pump in there at first,
Okay,
and they were paying for the electric to run it.
okay,
But the pump that they had didn't have
right.
Didn't have a screen on it.
good enough
Kept
blades
clogging
to
up.
keep the stuff cut down. So-
But the pool then, that is something that has nothing to do with the what you're saying, except
Correct.
get it into opera. Do you foresee that, yes, that is something that is on your board to be discussing that for the next summer?
I think we already discussed it. I
Yeah,
think
we
we were,
discussed it.
put it on our, we discussed it and just put it on the back burner for now because of all the other issues that were going up. But we
Back
have
burner
discussed
would
it.
be for 2024, no later?
Yeah, there's a
We
lot of
can't-
cost involved.
No
We got a lot of things we gotta get through right now. Caucus has kinda drained us, other things have kinda drained us. So,
We got sinkholes and sewers and, drainage ditches that gotta be fixed first. You know, they're more important right now than the pool, unfortunately. I'm like you though, I'd like to see something happen with it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Maybe you could ask the RPCIA if they would like to join with you all and do something with that pool. That would be a thought.
That's a public park, that would be open to the public then,
Yes, yes.
everyone,
Yeah, not just,
not just RP.
Yeah.
No, to see if they could manage it where there would be then two pools in
There's a
here.
lot of cost that would get it in, that would need to get it into shape.
yeah, it's expensive to get it back into shape, but that's certainly something that we have discussed in the past.
It was brought up that we could have a partnership with
And I think we're looking at what all these repair costs are gonna be before we look at something like that, which would be considered more of a luxury item rather than the necessary items for sewer and water and things like that.
Okay, anything else, Davis? Paul?
Not anything else on
Okay.
damages.
Yes, no, sir.
All right, next agenda item is the eminent domain filing.
I'll just say that state law requires that you file an annual report with comptroller documenting your eminent domain authority and any use of that authority, and we just ask for your authorization to file that report on your behalf. It's worth noting that it is necessary to file that report in order to preserve your eminent domain authority. So don't have any immediate plans to use it, but certainly an important legal right that you want to preserve.
Is that every year?
Every year, Davis?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. All right. The next thing is executive session. Do we need an executive session?
We can get a motion on that
We
eminent
have to,
domain.
Oh, we have to have a motion on the eminent domain filing, okay?
I move we approve the filing.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
are we going into executive for anything?
It's entirely up to you.
Right, we don't have anything because of the pending stuff we think can wait till next month on our end, so it's whatever y'all need to do.
Okay.
We're not doing a meeting next month, are we?
Yeah, we always do.
yeah, it'll be the 26th next month.
The website saying no meeting.
I don't know, somebody told me about that yesterday and I hadn't had a chance to, but that's what I'm trying to figure out is what dates the meeting is next month.
I have surgery next
On
month.
when?
On January 6th.
Okay,
I
so you
can't
won't
walk
be
for
gone.
So you'll be out.
So you'll be out all month. You're going to that thing when?
It's the last Friday and Saturday.
Okay, so are you leaving Thursday?
No.
No, you're not leaving till Friday. Okay. So are you still good for the fourth Thursday?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have,
26th, Tom?
I just want to make sure we're going to have a quorum.
Something marked down there, but I don't know what it is.
Because apparently I had my
Right
calendar
right
on
now,
this
I don't
stuff.
see a
So
problem
it's
with it.
January 26th.
Yeah,
It's when, what day?
January 26th. Okay. Okay.
Davis,
Just wanted to make sure we didn't have to make a change.
Davis, I thought we were gonna talk about the golf course today. Does that need to be an executive session?
No,
Talk about the golf course.
The letter that the owner sent?
Oh, the email that was,
Yeah.
we can certainly, talk about that if you'd like to. We can have a brief executive session to discuss that, if you'd like to.
I would think so.
why an executive meeting on that?
Because it involves strategy for
Possible.
dealing with legal,
Yeah.
legal strategy.
Okay. I wouldn't think we'd be in probably, what, 10, 15 minutes?
It's entirely up to you all.
I don't think it needs to be, Julie, but I'll just remind the public, because of their concern, the board can't take action in executive.
Right.
It's just discussion, and if there's any action to be taken, it'll have to be taken after executive and public session again.
Okay, so we want a break for executive session?
Yep.
Okay,
I wish you all had another room y'all could go hide in while we sat
It's
here.
pretty outside.
It's cold.
I just came in, it's pretty. Yeah, that's true. But then we'd have to, well, that's true.
But there's
You just,
nothing, what else is left after the executive
no,
session?
just
There's really-
adjourn.
There's really nothing left after the session. You'll
No.
see it on
No, we can't.
the,
Well, we're not gonna. How'd you retire? I have stuff for all you
Had
got.
to. Mandatory retirement.
I'm seeing it, that you did the sign-in sheets.
Bring it in.
Oh, you were
My
Carol,
thing
right?
about
Okay, hang on.
is, I mean, we
Don't,
discussed it a lot.
oh, no, I thought you wanted to sign it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I
The
one's for us.
insurance, everything else.
They're entitled to have a
Oh.
full license. We are.
It's just to keep track.
That is
If there's
democracy.
nothing.
I have.
Explain
That's
that.
democracy. They
No,
pay
no,
their
what I'm
dues
saying,
and
what
their
I'm saying.
taxes.
Okay, so, that concludes the executive session. I guess we need a motion to adjourn now.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
You second? All right, all in favor?
Hey,
All right, at 8:10 PM, the December meeting of the MUD, RPMUD, is been concluded.
And when's the next?
And the next meeting will be on Thursday, January 26th at 6:30, right?
Correct.
Okay. Have a great Christmas.
We'll
Thank
see
you,
you
guys.
Monday, Davis.
Merry Christmas. See you
Merry
Monday,
Christmas.
Jubilee.
Bye.
Y'all have a good night.
All right,
good night.
good night.
Did you have something for us?